Two-time Hall of Fame inductees, Brent Godarzi and Marty Young. Back-to-back #1 trucking firm in the nation. Back-to-back best attorney and best law firm in East Texas.
Hello, Buckeye Nation. Jeff Rash here. Welcome to the Gilmer Coaches Show. I'm Jeff Rash, your host, and I'm joined today by the star of our show. And that is the head football coach and athletic director for the Gilmer Buckeyes, Mr. Alan Metzel, who just won the first game in the playoffs. So congratulations on that.
Thank you.
Barely squeaked by, but you got it done. That's all that matters.
That's
right?
all that matters. Just got to push through.
71-14, the victory, the Gilmer Buckeyes over the Mahia Black Cats. And so if you like Buckeye football and you like to win by a large margin, that was the game for you. If you are a football fanatic that likes a little closer game, probably not your game. So we kind of knew that going in, what the outcome was going to be. I don't know how you kept it under 100 points because no matter what the depth is, we've talked about this a lot. We have so much depth on this team that whoever you put in there are capable of running. A lot of our third, fourth stringers are starters in most places.
Correct.
I mean, honestly.
Correct.
Todd always calls it an embarrassment of riches. We make fun of him for it because he does it a lot. So, let's talk about a couple of things. One, let's talk about the offense. Offense, you and I talked about this briefly in post-game last week. The offense seems to be really peaking. We saw that in Pleasant Grove. They looked amazing last night, or Thursday night. And again, you were playing a team that wasn't really, on the same level as the Buckeyes, of course, but you see execution and things that you like. What are you seeing that you like about the offense right now?
Well, I would agree from the standpoint of efficiency. You can go out there on air and not look good, if you're not focused. Yeah. And so things like we had 0 offensive penalties the other night.
Oh, wow.
0.
I didn't even catch that.
That's something that is important to us because we're harping on, no illegal procedures, no motion things, no, whatever communication issues.
That may be a first ever.
I don't remember one where we had none.
Wow.
So that was something that we were applauding.
Unless you count the sideline warning.
Sideline warning, but that was on a defensive coach. So there you go.
Okay, all right, there you
go. But anyway, that's good. I think the way that we're throwing and catching, we're not dropping balls, we're not putting things on the ground. The physicality, we've pointed it out the past couple of weeks, and we'll show some again today, of the blocking on the perimeter. Whether it's the fullbacks and running backs, whether it's our inside receivers and outside receivers. Yeah. They're doing a tremendous job, which is what's extending some plays that would be 10, 12 yards into long gains. Yeah. Those kind of things.
Receivers holding their blocks longer.
Yes, staying with it all the way down the field. And then, of course, our O-line is doing the underappreciated part always and being just really physical. They're maturing as a group, I think, gelling. Yeah. And then you've got an experienced trigger guy in Brandon. He makes a lot of great decisions in the game. And that makes things, for the stands, you think, God, that's so open. Well, it's because he made the right decision. Yeah.
And that's something. On the defensive side of the ball, I think the thing we've talked about defense a lot this year because they're so big, they're so strong, so physical, and have so much depth in every position. You have to go way back, as far as I'm concerned, to find another defense as good as the one we have now, for me. I mean, you may disagree.
No.
But the thing that I think that's really standing out in these last games, and we've seen it all year, but boy, the last few games, is how strong they are inside the red zone. Right. And specifically inside 10 yards. I mean, we've been in several scenarios in the last few games where they were first and goal inside the 10, and we stop them, and do turnover on downs or so it's pretty amazing to watch those guys. And the game, a lot of people don't realize this. You and I have discussed it before. The game on those front 80 yards is one game, and then inside the 20 it becomes a whole new football game.
Correct.
Right? You don't have all that green grass. You can't throw it around the yard.
Exactly. It gets compressed. Yeah. And at that point, now your D-line, what they are able to do heightens, because you've got to go through them. and we're pretty strong right there.
Yeah, and you start filling all the gaps, so it kind of takes away. You don't have a lot of space to throw over, and now you don't have a lot of space to run. So inside that inside the red zone, basically, especially inside the 10, it becomes a whole new game, and that's where we seem to excel because of the physicality of the defense.
I would agree. And you've seen that, like you specifically mentioned, I would say over the last 2 to 3 games, it's really taken a step forward. And so that I like it from the standpoint that now they've got a little bit of an edge about them. When they get down there, there's a feeling, well, we're going to stop them. We'll get the stop. It's not, well, can we hold them to a field goal or whatever? We're going to stop them. That's the mindset, and so that's a good thing.
Yeah, and it's happening at just the right time. So we only lack 5 games to win a state championship, folks. So let's. There's not a lot to talk about other than we've got several clips for you, which we always like to do. We like to show the kids, kind of highlight some of the things they've done, and we have several for you today, and we'll move briskly through them. But let's go. Let's start with Ashton Haynes' TD run right off the bat.
Ashton, this is on our first offensive drive. He's played well for us all year long, and you see him here, takes the handoff from Brandon and just glides in for the easy run for a touchdown. When you take a look at the end zone view here, you're going to see our tackle and guard with their kick out blocks, and then just watch the opening that they create here. Here comes the fullback. And then you can see right through, in between the guard and the tackle. I mean, there's that's like 6 yards of grass that he's able to run through. And then you see Rowan and our other receivers downfield blocking.
Holding their blocks,
and so able to get him into the end zone. So we were we felt good about our efficiency the other night on offense. We scored on each drive, minus when we just took the knee. So that was a plus for us. So here we go into, after the score, we take a look on our gate always for these bubbles. I've kind of created that with the drawing there, openings in the line of scrimmage area, and when you see those, then you swing it. And our guys were physical up front. Michael Colbert catches the ball and runs up in. We get an extra
Who makes
point.
that call?
I do.
They're watching for you?
Yes.
Okay.
We just give a signal, and then we swing it, or we shoot.
So they're all looking at you before they do that. So that's not... That's not Brandon or whoever the holder is. Okay.
No, they're looking at us on the sideline.
Gotcha.
And we make that call. So great job of execution here. Good job of the line. It's one of those things that you can't fall asleep on that and just think we're not going to do it. That's the first time we've done it all season.
Yeah.
Because teams have lined up to it, and we also have a very efficient extra point team. So you don't want to just do that and give up a point. But that one was obvious. We felt like we had the advantage, and guys were ready and ran it right in, get an extra point.
This next one's going to be one of my favorite clips of the day. This is Landon Watson's interception, and what a great catch.
Tremendous catch. I'm going to say he learned this one out with Luke and Levi in the backyard, playing this tremendous job tracking the ball and catching it over his head. You can see they try and go deep. Here he is. First of all, what I love is he's the deepest player. And so you always tell your guy, be the deepest guy in your zone. He is. And then he makes a tremendous over-the-shoulder catch. And that gives us the ball back, and here we go.
Yeah, absolutely. And I noticed when he came to the sideline that he was awarded a
turnover belt.
The turnover belt, yeah.
They've got, all these colleges do that. And so, that...
So he had it looks like a WWE or wrestling belt or something. They get the turnover belt.
No doubt.
Now you have to hand it over, I guess, to the next guy that gets the turnover.
Exactly.
Right? So he's still got it.
He's got it right now.
So
That's exactly
right. All right, that's
you got it.
Well, that was a great catch by Landon Watson. I'm sure he probably learned that from his dad.
Probably Greg threw.
Great athlete, Watson. So this next one was this is a Tennyson TD run.
This is the younger Tennyson, and we try and find ways to get him the ball, so we put him in at receiver on this play and bring him on a jet sweep, and he does a great job. Brandon, of course, gives him the handoff, and then he just explodes into the secondary. Very physical runner. He's one of those guys I'm not sure a lot of DBs want to tackle him.
He's a freshman, remember that. But the kid is one of the most physical football players I've seen in a long time, and I'm going to tell you something. I've really been, watching the games, and I've always, you see teams that get around the end efficiently. And it seems like from year to year, sometimes we're good at it and sometimes we're not. And it's like, well, is it blocking scheme? Is it because we're running a spread? Used to the jet sweep worked better, it seems, 10 years ago than it did today. I think people are used to seeing the set.
Right.
But you've had certain people that run outside really well. I always think about Tate. He was just phenomenal around the end. He's just really effective at getting around the end. And I haven't seen too many of our players in like recent years. You may argue and think of some right off the top of your head that are just really fast enough and physical enough to not pace themselves, but to like sprint and get outside and turn up field. But Caden,
he has that.
He has that. I always say on the radio broadcast, and I'm sure you don't always just run to your television the next morning to watch our broadcast, but I always say on the broadcast, if I were calling the plays, anytime I'm in doubt, I'm just going to say Caden left, Caden right, Caden left, Caden right, because he's so physical. Right. He's going to find a hole. He's so fast that he makes it. If you halfway get a block outside, he's going to get around it. Right. He's a great outside runner.
He is.
So that was just an example of that right there,
doubt.
and we're going to see a lot more of that over the next few years. That's going to be fun.
That is right.
Here's a defensive play, 4th down stop by Derek Borda in particular.
This is what you were referencing a little bit earlier. You can see they're on like the 2-yard line. Derek's in at nose guard, does a great job of getting a push right by the center, goes right through the running back, sacks the quarterback, and he tried to flick it out. We almost pick it off right there, but he just makes a desperation attempt to throw it. But tremendous job. Just watch how fast he gets by their center on the snap right there, and then through the running back and then onto the quarterback. Excellent job. And
good effort.
Now we've got the offense going back out on the field.
Here's a kick return by Rowan Fluellen. We've seen a few of those this year. And just watch how, when he returns this ball, how fluid he runs down the field.
Very gifted runner. Very gifted runner. Amazing vision. Amazing ability to set up blocks. Here you're going to see, and this is a big part of it. You can see us kick out the edge. That's Parker Gilo. And then you're going to see our double team here where we kick out their force player, and then we get the seal. So we've got him a good lane.
Yeah.
So now you're in good shape. Well, this is where his intangibles kick in. So right now they've got 2, 3, 4 guys still to beat, and he beats all of them. That move right there, and then here again, that's just he's very gifted.
Yeah, and then the speed, they're not going to catch him after the fact. So, yeah,
that's why he'll play in college.
Yeah, he will. He's
very
great
good.
runner.
Right.
Here's Keith Rockwell. Keith Rockwell's plays fullback.
He does.
And he is a big, strong, benches 350 pounds or so. I mean, he is thick and strong. He's a fire plug, type of guy. Plays linebacker. Just a big, strong, physical kid, but he also has good hands.
He does.
And he can run the football.
Right. Well, we've got a little slip screen here for him. We do a whole lot of blocking where he'll pull around and go get the linebacker, and so this is a play off of that. We're going to bring our guy across in motion. You can see our linemen slip out, and this is an extremely well executed play. You can see the backside, Rowan's fixing to go get a guy on the hash right here, gets him down. That would be a touchdown saver. Then you see Taylor Neely all the way 10, 15 yards down the field on this screen, blocking out their corner, and then of course Keith just takes it right down the sideline. There's our center. That's Bodie Henson.
All the way down
all
the
the way
field.
on the 7-yard line, blocking.
Look at that.
And then he just walks in. So
isn't that something?
Really well executed
That
by
really
the line.
They have been setting up screens extremely well this year.
They've done it well this year.
They've run that little middle screen that we run. They've run that efficiently
all year long.
All year long.
They really have.
It's been a good play.
It has.
I know you try to save that. You don't want to.
Right. You don't want to overuse it where people start keying it.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So you got to mix it in, different kinds.
It's pretty good. Here's another 4th down stop by Borda.
Another opportunity for them. He fights through the double team, doesn't quit, and then just comes in and gets the tackle on the quarterback, and we end up getting the ball again. So big stop by the defense, getting them off the field, and then we get to go make another play.
Here's Haynes, and this is kind of a demonstration of the physicality of the O-line you were talking about earlier.
Right. It's easy to see what Ashton does here and watch him. Now, first of all, though, I've got Ashton circled there. You'll notice his run. Watch Braden Clinton right here that I've got circled. Watch what he does to their defensive tackle right there. Just buries him. You know, that makes it fun for a running back to run behind. So then we'll go to the end zone, and you're going to see our left tackle, this one is Braylon Ward, and how he just gets after his guy. And then you're going to see the center and the left guard on the double team. Cano blocks the linebacker. Excellent job here in every regard. And then, of course, Ashton does what he does well. He gets out in space, and I think that was a 29-yard pickup right there. So
yeah, nice run. Good offensive line. A lot of physicality.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. That's what you
more
want to
so
see.
than we don't get to see that every year.
Right.
It's always nice to have that size, but also have them play in physical. We ran a reverse in this game.
We did. You know, there's certain things that you want to get. You can do this in practice all you want, but you need to do it in a game.
Yeah.
You know, and so this was one of those opportunities to get to work something where we get the pitch, the catch, the backside blocks. You can see Cano get out and get after his guy here. And of course, Rowan makes a couple of cuts and big score there. So this is in the first half.
You know, you see all these. You're watching the runner when you're watching a football game. A lot of times you don't get to, until you do this.
Right.
You don't get to pay attention to the blocks. You know, one of the best blockers I think on the team. Again, you guys grade them, but I think Parker Gilo.
Absolutely.
I watch Parker Gilo out there
He
all the way
wears them out.
downfield, and he's a good blocker.
Tremendous.
And sets up a lot of stuff on the outside
That's
out
right.
there. So,
And week in and week out.
Yeah.
He does it. He's very consistent.
he does. So here's a really tough physical defensive player, Arona, and he is and watch him lay the wood to this guy. As soon as he catches that ball,
smacks him right here.
I mean, that's
right
child
in the
abuse
chest.
right there.
Right in the chest. I'm sure we give the Big Bones Award to whoever has the biggest hit.
Yeah.
I would be pretty confident that he got him this week.
Yeah, I would think so. This is him, number 3, hitting number 3.
Yes.
And it was a big one. So here was a punt block.
By Amaro. So he's up at the top, and he's going to come off the edge. This was not necessarily a block called. It's just they didn't reach out and get him, and he was hustling through and got his hand on the ball. So excellent effort on his part to just stay in his lane. They didn't get him
Negative yardage punt. Yeah.
Absolutely. So now we're in their end of the field and get another opportunity to score.
Okay, and this next one is a Parker Gilo touchdown.
Parker, we talked about his blocking. Well, here he is with his route running. And you can see they're up pretty close on us, and we're going to run a flag route with him. And the corner bites on the out route, and he just goes wide open in the back of the end zone there and gets an easy score.
Reels it in.
Yes.
Here's Will Blakely. Now, this guy right here has got wheels.
He can
This
run.
guy, is he the fastest guy on the team?
He arguably would be.
It's either him or Caden, probably.
I would
I'm
say
assuming.
those two are right there together. Will Henderson's right in there with them.
Yeah.
So we've got some guys that can go, but
Will Blakely's got some
can
wheels,
run.
and watch this.
Yeah, you'll see it after he catches it. This is Caden, and coming in the second half, and we run a little slant play, and once Will catches it, it's over.
Well, most people are caught right there because the
Right.
defense, they had 3 guys trailing him that already had momentum.
Mm-hmm.
See, he has to build momentum. They're already running. He has to catch, set, and run, but he just runs off and leads them.
He did.
And not many people are going to get out of that situation.
No.
But he had the wheels to be able to do that.
That's right.
This next touchdown was Will Henderson. You talk about one of the other speedsters on the team.
Right.
This, by the way, you're also watching your these 3 kids we just talked about are also going to be your relay team.
Right. The spring,
Sure.
that's right,
It'll be
on the
your-
track team.
it'll be your
You're
track
so right, and they ought to have some good success. You see Will here get the ball. Once he hits a crease, you're not going to run him down either. He can just really.
How old is Will?
He's a sophomore.
Sophomore, yeah.
Yes,
He's a young one. We'll be seeing a lot more
Yes.
of him in years to come as well.
That is right.
And then this last one is Michael Corbett, who's no slacker.
Right. Junior, and he's had some big runs this last week and this week. We're running a counter play here, pulling Braden Seymour, and then the fullback up Joseph Clark, and then Mike finds the hole and takes it to the end zone.
Yeah. So you had how many people scored touchdowns? 7 or 8? Different.
I'd have to look at it. I think that's correct.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
So it was a good. Those are the kind of games you come away with. We did have one injury that we got to work on, but it wasn't inflicted by the other team. It was just a freak deal. but pretty much came out of it. Other than that, came out of it healthy.
Yes, sir.
And that's what you want out
what
of
we
first
want.
round playoffs. So now we go to round 2, folks. We need everybody to come out. All of you that are willing to drive to Mesquite, and we're going to be in Mesquite
Hanby
Stadium. It's
Yes.
going to be Friday night, 7 o'clock, and we are going to be taking on the Foxes.
That's correct.
Is
We'll
that
be
right?
the visitors.
The Foxes from
Cattle Mills.
Cattle Mills. Cattle Mills. And
That's who we played last year in round 4 at A&M Commerce.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so we've been to Hamby before. So if you can, come out. If you can't, be sure to dial and tune in. Remember, it's 7 o'clock, not 7:30. And so that's important. You'll miss a whole bunch of the first quarter if you wait till 7:30 to log on. And so we'll be bringing all the action to you live. And then again, I want to point out we have a new sponsor, by the way, the Credit Union of Texas, and they're sponsoring now a post-game show. And so Coach Metzel, at the end of each game, calls up into the booth, and we do a little post-game interview and talk about what we just saw as they're getting ready to do trophies and that kind of thing. And we also pick now a defensive and offensive player of the week, sponsored by the Credit Union of Texas. So we appreciate the new sponsor coming on board and all of our great sponsors. So, Coach, congratulations on win number 1.
Yes, sir.
We just need 5 more.
There you go.
And
One week at a time.
hopefully we'll get them. And so you guys come out and visit. Your football season is going to be over in 5 weeks, folks. You better come and see as much of it as you can. So thanks for watching the Coaches Show today, and we will see you in Mesquite on Friday.